Disney used a lot of scents in its attractions. Heimlich's choo-choo train drips watermelon-scented water onto the riders.
God, everything about that sounds absolutely terrible. Heimlich's choo-choo train is disgusting and reminds me of choking.
Chew is spelled C-H-E-W.
Okay, so maybe
it's
like
Heimlich the caterpillar from Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that guy?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm down again. I liked him.
Hello, welcome to the Microtheticast, a minuscule version of the Hypotheticast. We don't want you to miss us too much, so we've recorded this episode where we're going to play a little game. This week, we are playing something called Collaboratory, the Smell-O-Vision version. So last week we talked about the sense of scent smells, and
wow.
I really wanted a chance to talk about Smell-O-Vision.
Bagged us. Yeah. It was a mess.
Please.
It was pretty nasty.
So here's what happened. I get to talk about it, and then we're going to play a game based on it. So Smell-O-Vision was a system that released odor during the projection of a film so that the viewer could smell what was happening in the movie. It was only done with one movie in 1960, The Scent of Mystery, and it projected 30 different odors into the movie theater seats, triggered by the soundtrack of the film. In my research into this, there was a competing competition to Smell-O-Vision called Aromarama, which also happened at around the same time.
Honestly, that less communicative, but a better name.
Aromarama.
Aromarama is fun to say,
Yeah.
but I'm like, what does it mean? Is it like a fun party where I go to sniff stuff? Like, I don't know.
And that's what they want you to be intrigued.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Now, it turns out this did not work super well because it just meant the whole theater was filled with smells.
Yeah,
and
They would just mingle.
There wasn't a good way to clear the smells out. So by the end of the movie, it was just full
Nasty.
of stink. But anyway, I do appreciate a good novelty technique related to cinema. So we thought we might experiment with that ourselves. We have written down a bunch of different scents, and then we also have a pile of movie genres. We are each going to draw a genre and then a number of scents, and then we are challenged to come up with a scene from a movie in that genre. And I guess we'll be as descriptive of that movie as we want. Mm-hmm. The name of it, who's going to be in it, what will happen. But it'll be a specific scene, and how those scents will be used will guide how that scene goes.
And they'll be smell-o-visioned into the audience during that scene.
Yeah, smell-o-vision right in there.
Yeah.
They used a series of looks like fans and pipes to do this.
Fans and pipes.
Maybe we could say that this is like a more advanced technology where they are somehow capable of clearing out the last.
Like it'll actually be effective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Well, they've redone it. Smell-O-Vision 2.
All right. So now we're going to draw our genres and smells.
We're generating a movie and we're generating 2 smells.
Right.
Well, then I'll just draw 3. So I'll start. I have an idea.
Okay.
It's weird, but I have it. This movie is called Bible Bucks.
Oh, wow.
It is a movie about stealing things that were treasures that were mentioned in Scripture. So, and this is the opening scene of the movie.
Okay.
Because I think an opening scene for Smell-O-Vision would be very evocative. Like you'd have to hit them right away with a nice smell, a really good one. But this one would be a little bit less than nice because black screen. It opens on a black screen, and the audience gets wafted the smell of a burnt wild berry Pop-Tart.
Oh.
A shot of a toaster fades in, and the sound of a smoke alarm starts going off, and somebody starts to wave, and you get this domestic scene of a kitchen. There are 2 people living in it. It's very messy. It looks like there's books open everywhere. It's clearly the home of some people that are studying for a test or preparing for some sort of Bible heist.
So studying for a test or preparing for a Bible heist.
It's hard to know.
Similar activities.
But you definitely know which one, that it's gotta be one of those 2 things. And this opening scene features our 2 lead characters, both played by Josh Hartnett. They are twins.
Oh, yes.
And one of them is the responsible, smart one, and the other one is the action at Indiana Jones one.
You gotta have both in twins.
Because they're twins.
Yeah.
One of them always becomes Indiana Jones and one of them always becomes smart. And so the one that's Indiana Jones was playing a video game while his Pop-Tart burnt or something, and is wearing his headset and can't hear the smoke alarm, and the other one's oh, come on, the other smart Josh. It's
come on, man.
Come on, what the hell? Pop-Tart again. This person is sitting at the kitchen table reading through a very old book, an old Bible.
Oh.
And everybody knows the smell of old, like antique book.
Yeah.
And I think after that first shot of kind of the establishing the dynamic by person burning a Pop-Tart playing video games and person sitting at a table surrounded by books looking through stuff, you get to know both of those characters right away.
All you need to know.
And then we zoom in on that Bible, and as the pages turn, each page provides a new waft of that really old Bible smell until smart Josh Hartnett points at one word in particular, and it says like Jesus treasure or something, and he's like, aha, and that's where the scene ends. So we cut to like, maybe it cuts to like 5 years earlier or something. Like, who knows? But that's the scene. I don't know where the movie goes, but I know that's just, I'm already intrigued by my own thing.
I'm very intrigued. Yeah, let's watch that.
All right. My movie is, I'm just going to tell you like the type of movie. It's a horror movie set at a summer camp in the 90s.
Okay.
And this is one of the earlier scenes. A side character, not the main character, but this girl, she's kind of like the girl who really wants to be cool, but is super insecure and tries a little too hard.
Yeah.
The night is winding down. There was a big campfire. In particular, one girl had a box of s'mores Pop-Tarts that she was roasting over the fire and they burnt. So that's kind of that's the lingering smell.
Yeah.
And
the
camera is panning away as people pack up their things and the Pop-Tart box gets thrown into the fire.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to use it.
Use it.
And you see this girl headed back to her cabin by herself, feeling a little glum. Wasn't the social experience she wanted. She goes to her bunk. She takes out her Dr. Pepper lip smackers, applies it. The scent of Dr. Pepper lip smackers fills the movie theater.
Smacks the room.
And then she hears a rustling outside. And her name, Jessica. Someone is saying her name and it sounds kind of like a boy.
Oh no.
And she's like,
don't do it, Jessica.
Who could it be? A boy wants to talk to me? So she puts on her Esprit sweatshirt and she goes outside and she's like, hello? And she walks a little bit into the woods. She hears it again. Hey, Jessica, come here. So she walks a little further and suddenly she's hit with an overpowering scent of fish. She's like, what's going on?
No.
And then she feels something wet and slimy on her shoulder. And she turns around and there is a man made of many fishes. And all you hear is her scream and you see her glasses fall into the leaves.
Of course. Man made of many fishes. Was the smell of the Esprit sweatshirt, was that part of it?
No, that was just a detail to take us there.
I just wanted to remember what that smelled like. I think I want to trip down memory lane. What you got, Mike?
My genre is a rom-com, and this is going to be a Hallmark movie called Hair of the Dog. Okay. And here's where we're going with this. This is about a guy coming back to his small hometown for his 30th high school reunion.
Yep. Hallmark movie classic.
He has really focused on his career. He is very rich, but he's still single. Seems like a decent guy. And he pulls in, this scene takes place at the beginning of the movie. He pulls into a gas station to get some gas, and he goes in to the gas station and sees that they still have the same kind of orange soda that they used to have when he was a kid. And he takes that orange soda, unscrews it, and he's like, I hope you don't mind if I drink a little bit before I pay for it. I just haven't had this for many years. And the person behind the counter is like, Joe? And it turns out that it's his childhood sweetheart.
Oh no!
And she owns the gas station, and she's a mechanic there.
Oh, so she's rich too.
And yeah, it's not a dump. It's a good business. It's like, hey, what are you doing in here? And she's like, I'm here for the high school reunion, and I can't believe all the memories this place is bringing back. She's like, oh, that's really good. And it's a really cute little scene.
Sure.
The smell of the orange soda makes us feel nice and takes us back to our own
childhood.
And
the smell of reunion.
And And he's like, okay, things are going well. So then he gets back into his car and he's driving down. It's actually a gravel road. This is a very small town. And you can smell that dusty road smell as he's driving along.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know it well.
he sees an old man hitchhiking at the side of the road. And he decides like, oh, maybe I should pull over and help him out. I'm feeling good. And he pulls over and the old man says, hey, thanks, man. I've been standing out here all day and it's getting really hot. And he's like, sure, hop in. And then he's like, hope you don't mind if my dog comes in too. And he's like, no, I hate dogs. Dogs are the worst.
No.
And so he's like, I can't. I'm sorry. And he just takes off and leaves the guy at the side of the road. And then we see the cuts to the old man saying, he turns out this old man is actually a wizard in disguise.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always is.
He mumbles some ancient language and some sparklies come out of his hand as he waves it towards the man in the car. The man checks into his hotel and the next morning he wakes up and he has been transformed into a dog. Yeah.
Classic.
So I guess this is a couple different scenes, but it's the intro. It's the inciting incident of the movie. So he wakes up in the hotel bed and he's like still in his pajamas, but he's a dog. And the first thing he realizes, he pokes his head out the door of the hotel room and then he smells, the viewer and him both smell an overpowering aroma of cat butt. Which is a smell that is now in the theater, and he runs off like not in control of his own impulses because he's a dog. He needs to go chase that cat because that's what he does. And now he's got to somehow learn his lesson about hating dogs
by killing a cat.
And because this is a rom-com, reuniting with his old lost flame.
She'll probably like adopt him and he'll be like, no, it'll be real awkward.
Spoiler alert, he never makes it out of dog form and just like is stuck there forever.
Oh no. So the rom-com part of it is like, we're a quirky couple. It's like, that's a dog. It's B-movie.
I guess
like,
they can't actually be together romantically.
You can't. Maybe he sets her up with someone else because he knows her so well and they get together and adopt him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it doesn't matter.
That movie sounds like a little too much for me, I gotta say.
That's too much?
I think I'd get that far in and I'd be like, I don't know. I might change the channel.
Did I mention that it's also Christmas?
Of course, it's the Christmas hair of a dog.
Who's the actor?
Oh, who's the actor? Tom Everett Scott.
No, like the dog actor.
Airbud's son.
Oh, yeah.
It's played by
Airbud.
Son of Airbud.
Son of Bud.
It's a stealth sequel to all the Airbuds.
Honestly, those movies are Hallmark movies.
You can watch it with your kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are we going to do one more round of this?
I don't know. Should we?
We didn't go quite as long as we did.
Should we? What if we do it, but it's faster?
Yeah.
If we agree that it's
lightning
more...
round.
What if we did like a challenge round where you started describing, then I gave you a scent you had to include?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Would that be fun?
Let's do a challenge round. All right. All right, listeners, it's time for the challenge round, which is an idea we just came up with. Thanks, Mike.
I promise there's no more Pop-Tart smells.
I was actually hoping that they would all be Pop-Tart smells. How does this work?
I don't know.
I want to try being challenged.
I think it would be fun to just have David do it and he starts describing it and we just like keep throwing him scents and he has to.
Oh, there you go.
We could just do these.
I don't know what's in there.
I know.
Exactly.
Collaboratory Smell-O-Vision 2.0 version. Challenge round. David is our subject.
I am. I'm the subject and the creator, the author, the auteur of this film.
Yeah.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, I guess, is what I have here. Just kidding. It's murder mystery.
That wasn't a genre we did.
This is a murder mystery movie. And I am going to start to provide details about the scene that I'm describing. And Mike and Emily will give me smells as they seem relevant or as they seem completely irrelevant. And I will have to try to work them into the scene.
Gotta think on your feet.
We open on a horse-drawn carriage starring...
This carriage stars.
Starring inside the carriage, a lady that looks very fancy. The smell I've been given is ozone from a lightning strike.
Yeah.
So we open on a carriage and immediately it is struck by lightning.
Lady dead.
The smell of the twist. The smell of lightning, the smell of ozone from a lightning strike wafts through the audience. They're not really sure like what that smell is, because I'm not also like I'm not sure I'd recognize it, but they assume that it's related to the action on screen. The lady stumbles out of the carriage, hair spiky from lightning strike, and smelling of cheap vodka.
Oh no!
So after the ozone happens, the cheap vodka wafts over the audience. She throws the bottle of vodka that she was drinking from onto the ground. It smashes, and she says, "I'm sick of these gods trying to kill me."
Oh wow!
The horse turns to her and goes, "What do you mean, God's trying to kill you? I mean, this is a world where animals can talk, but gods aren't real." And she says, "Jeremy, I'm sick of your shit. Stop talking. I'm sad that I even put a spell on this whole world in the first place." Jeremy says, "Samantha, I'm sick of you always giving me you made me a horse. It's your birthday today, and gods are trying to kill you probably because of that. I'll admit it. They might be real or not." But he reaches into his deep horse pocket and pulls out a bakery box, and he says, "I made this for you. It's a fresh birthday cake." And as he opens the lid with his other horse hoof, because they're pretty articulate horses, they have lots of fingers, the smell of fresh birthday cake wafts over the audience. Very pleasant. But it does seem like there is a bit of maybe like old stroganoff also in that box. I think it's very possible that while Jeremy has learned well to use his horse hoofs, he accidentally mixed in some other food because he's a sloppy boy, and the smell of cafeteria food also wafts over with birthday cake. So kind of a mixed bag, which seems like Jeremy's thing at this point. God. Wow. Okay. So Jeremy and Samantha, she gets back in the carriage and they proceed to the shop that they needed to go to. And they were buying groceries. They need groceries for their house because they live together. Jeremy and Samantha, the horse and the lady.
Sure.
That's the name of this movie, The Horse and the Lady. But it is a murder mystery.
Yeah.
So as they enter the shop, the shopkeeper twirls his mustache and says, "Ah, yes, this is the perfect chance for me to capture the fortune of Lady Samantha," and sneaks up behind her while she's in the cleaning aisle, knocks her out, but she falls against the side, dashes her head on a shelf, falls to the ground, and a bottle of industrial floor cleaner ironically cleans the floor next to her messy dead body. And of course the smell of industrial floor cleaner, very strong, pine sol for days across the theater. She lays on the ground, dead, and we cut to the shopkeeper taking turns between digging and twirling his mustache in a graveyard, and he's cackling. So he digs one, he sets the shovel aside, and he goes and twirls his mustache again. Picks back up the shovel, digs another bit, puts it down, twirls the mustache. And as he digs, the smell of tilled soil floats through the audience because, of course, he's burying this body. Is
he tilling the soil?
He's tilling it.
He's not just digging.
he's tilling it. Yeah, the smell of
tiller?
Yeah, well, the smell of tilled soil is actually unrelated to his digging. There's a farmer in the background that's just going to town.
Because shovel dug soil is different smelling than tilled soil.
Smells very different than tilled soil. And there is a farmer just like using one of those rototillers in the background, and he's whooping and hollering like farmers are wont to do.
Yep.
Which helps because he's trying to bury this in secret. And that farmer's making a big scene, so everybody's paying attention to him. The moral of the story is the shopkeeper gets away with it, and nobody ever knows that Lady Samantha was ever murdered. They think Jeremy probably did it.
Oh, Jeremy.
Because they had a fight right in front of the store.
I guess.
So like that's
the witnesses were all
they were all like, well, they did have a quarrel over that weird stroganoff cake that he baked for her. That seemed yeah, poor Jeremy. He went to horse jail.
The glue factory.
Horse jail. Jeez.
Thanks for joining us on that wild ride, listeners. If you would like to find us on the internet to get more hypothetical questions every day of the week, or to reach out and say hi to us or give us your ideas for themes or hypothetical questions, you can find us in various places. We're on Facebook at Hypotheticast, on Twitter at Hypotheticast, on Instagram at Hypotheticast_IG. You can send us an email, hypotheticast@gmail.com, or find us on our website, hypotheticast.club.
We love it when you spread the word about us in any way that you want to, that is legal. Leave us a review on iTunes or on anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Another place is your mouth that you can talk about us from to other people, and they can hear the words of the Hypotheticast.
Yep.
You can quote us to them, and then they will listen to us. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you to Jane James and the Hunger for their song Killing It from their album Raw. It's our theme song. It's good. It's fun. It bumps. And thank you to Christian Hagen for the logo he made, because it also bumps. Thank you to the listeners for being great, for being cute, for being fun, and for participating all the time with everything that we do. Thank you so much. And that's our show. That's it. That's it. That's going to do it.
There's no more.
There's no more. So get
Back to work.
Yeah, get back to work. Your boss sees you. Look over that cubicle. You work in an office.
I can see you giggling behind your little hands.
Giggling. Stop hiding behind your little hands.
I'm marching, marching, 'cause I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Dr. Pepper.